Hey, it's Ben here, and here in this video we're going to have a look at how we delete audio from the timeline without deleting the video clip. So there's a few different ways of doing this. The first approach is to separate out the audio. So basically what we can do here is when we have an audio track and we want to remove a section of audio for whatever reason, we can double click on the audio track and you can see it separates out these two tracks. Then we're going to jump to the range selection tool. So I'm going to come to my range selection tool or tap the R key to bring that up. And now I'm going to drag across a section of my audio. So we'll grab this short section, and essentially once we've got that selected, we can just press delete, and that will essentially mute that piece of audio. So if we come back to our selection tool, you can see that is removed. It doesn't do any dipping around the edges of that, it will just completely mute it. There's no fade at the beginning or end of that audio as it becomes silent. So if we want to bring that audio back, you can see we can hover over the audio track here, and we can just slip that audio back into place. So as I drag this across, once I'm done, the audio will be back in place. Now, the other way of doing this on the timeline, perhaps the way that I use the most often, is to use the same range selection tool, and I will drag across the audio here, and you can use this to mute the audio or to dip the audio. So basically I'm going to select this range of audio and I'm going to drop that down. So now that will mute everything in these areas, and it's also fading that at the beginning and end so that I get a little bit of transition between the audio and the silence. So at the beginning here I've got some keyframes. I can modify how those are arranged so I can have the audio drop down quicker, but there's still that kind of fade out of the audio. And I can also, with these two, hold down shift, select them both, and then decide where that audio is going to actually fade out. So I can listen back to it, refine it, edit it, modify where that is going to fade out. And then if I want to remove this, then I can lift up the center here until we go all the way back to 0. Or if I just undo that, I can right click on these keyframes and I can delete the keyframes in the middle first and then come back and delete these keyframes on the outside, and that will bring my audio back in. So a couple quick ways of removing audio on the timeline. Obviously there's a bit more to this in terms of mixing it and making sure the audio sounds good, not just a quick chop to silent. But if you do need to delete audio, then the ability to double click here and expand the audio out from the video means that you're not going to lose any timing with other audio on your timeline, and it's going to remain attached to the video. So if we move the video around on the timeline, the other audio that's attached to this spoken word is going to remain in the right spot. So hopefully that's a useful tip. If you do have any questions about removing the audio or other methods that you use to do this, then please do leave a comment below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you on the next tutorial.